Good Friday evening, Southeast Texas. Over the next 15 minutes, we're going to take an in-depth look at your forecast, answer your questions, and take a look at our forecast over the next 7 days. Did not see as much rainfall across the area as we were forecasting. At least I dropped my rain chances to a 60% coverage. Again, it was a lot less than that today, and I don't think that the winds were helping aloft. I'll show you that in just a second. But lots of clouds out there now on the Roofing 911 Skycam network, sponsored by the Horseman's Western Store. So I think we're set for a pretty good chance of shower and thunderstorm activity tomorrow afternoon. On Saturday, it's not going to be wet all day, but that high begins weakening and moving over towards northwest Texas. And so Monday and Tuesday looking hotter and drier. We'll likely see highs once again rising into the mid-90s, and then scattered showers and storms are back in the forecast by Thursday and Friday of next week as another surge of moisture moves into the area. Otherwise, on your allergy report, pretty much what we saw yesterday: moderate levels of weed pollen, moderate grass pollen, and mold at moderate levels on the Southeast Texas allergy report. So tomorrow we'll go with about a 50 to 60% coverage. I think it's going to be mainly afternoon hours. I don't agree with this modeling. We'll go with the highs of about 90 degrees under partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies. Otherwise, Saturday in the lakes, it's going to be more late afternoon probably after about 3 o'clock tomorrow. We'll go with the 50 to 60% coverage. Highs up there will be a little bit warmer because it's going to take longer to get them up there. So about 92 coming up for tomorrow afternoon in the lakes area. I think it'll be hotter than what you see there. And again, a 50, maybe 60% coverage tomorrow afternoon. And there's my forecast for the triangle: a 50 to 60% Saturday. Sunday, we increased our rain chances to a 40% coverage because there's a little bit of a surge of moisture. Then Monday, Tuesday look hot and dry. Wednesday back up to a 20% coverage. And again, I'm not going to go much more than about a 40% coverage coming up Thursday and Friday, and I'll show you why in just a second. So I love to show this graphic because it really tells the story. Look at how much moisture is available coming up on Saturday. Still, the potential for some heavy rainfall is becoming less likely, though, as the heaviest rain stayed off to our southwest today. So did not get the heavy rains, thankfully. Rain chances and also moisture really starts going down as we head towards Sunday. And then Monday, Tuesday, rain chances will be next to zero before chances of rain start going back up because we'll have more available moisture in the atmosphere. You can see on the scale, again, right now we've got quite a bit of tropical moisture over our area. So it's right in this area on the scale. But as we go down into, say, Monday of next week, we go down the scale into this area. So drying takes place in the atmosphere. It's still going to be warm and humid in at the ground, but as you look up to the atmosphere, again, you need moisture in the atmosphere to produce clouds and thunderstorm activity. We see drying occurring aloft. But then we flip the switch, high pressure moves away, and then we'll start to see moisture increasing in the atmosphere. So we think that there'll be a better chance of shower and thunderstorm activity for Thursday and Friday. High temperatures, this is in Beaumont, so we look at Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as that high will be over us. Expect highs in the mid-90s. Of course, the heat index will be certainly into the triple digits as we head towards the first half of next week. Lakes area, you can add about a degree or two there. So Tuesday looking pretty hot across southeast Texas before temperatures start decreasing tomorrow or late this next week because of clouds and moisture. So didn't get much today. Boy, they're obviously popping over towards Houston, but we'll show you why now. So here's the deal. Look at the shape of the coast. This is for the sea breeze, and it's basically like that. The air is moving just above the surface, is moving generally in this direction. Okay? That's not a great direction. Look at the air here. It's almost perpendicular to the coastline. The shape of the coast dictates rainfall. Now, look what's happening off towards our east. Pretty good coverage, showers and thunderstorms off towards our east. Well, that didn't look real good. Let's try that again. Shower and thunderstorm activity off towards our east. Pretty good coverage across that portion of the state of Louisiana. Let's see if I can do it there. There we go. And what's happening is that there's more favorable wind direction. The air is moving the showers and storms towards the north. You see that? It's perpendicular to the coastline. So as the low, weak low in the Gulf moves ashore tonight in mid-Texas, on the mid-Texas coastline, and moves west, it will drag this favorable area over our area coming up tomorrow. That's what I'm basing our forecast for tomorrow off of. Did not have favorable wind direction. Yeah, we had plenty of moisture, but we didn't have favorable winds aloft. That's why you got to look at more than just precipitation. You've got to look at the winds aloft, the amount of moisture in the atmosphere, instability, whether you're capped or not, the upper level pattern. Are you going to get there's multiple variables in weather forecasting that I spend hours looking at every day. Okay, so here we are. And the broad picture shows low pressure moving off towards the west. This is weak low pressure. It is not going to develop. We didn't think it was going to develop. Look at all the shower and thunderstorm activity off towards our east. Why is that happening? Because we have southerly winds coming off the Gulf there. They're more out of the east-southeast over our area, and this is going to be moved over our area coming up as we head on in. I'm hitting the wrong button. Apologize for that. Again, that's going to be moving our direction coming up tomorrow. This low, it's weak. The thunderstorm activity is non-existent around it, and it's going to head in towards the mid-Texas coastline tonight. But again, we're going to move this favorable environment, if you will, over our area tomorrow as this low moves off towards the west. That's, again, what we're forecasting. See how the winds are being right on perpendicular to the coastline. That's instead of see how the winds are east-southeast here, you can see it clearly. They're going to be more southerly tomorrow. So that's why we're going to see a better chance of rain and thunderstorm activity coming up tomorrow. So let's see what modeling says. So tonight, slight chance, 20% coverage. And most of the day should be dry. There's 9 a.m., noon, not much. So get it done, because we think by the afternoon and mid and late afternoon hours, a pretty good coverage, of 50, maybe 60% coverage over the area coming up tomorrow afternoon. Before we see those showers and storms, highs should reach about 90 in the triangle, the lower 90s up in the lakes area. Look at the southerly winds. That's very favorable, because we're going to still have, okay, now here we go again. Let me show you the wind direction. Get my pencil. Look at how the winds, you can see them right there, east-southeast, but off towards eastern Louisiana, they're more out of the south. And we're going to again move that. We're going to move that on over to our area as we head on into tomorrow afternoon. Look at the southerly winds. See that right there? Let me get my pencil again. And you can see those southerly winds right off the Gulf. And that should help destabilize the atmosphere, a more favorable wind direction, plentiful moisture, not a lot of disturbances coming up tomorrow, but again, that should help create convergence over our area. When the wind hits the land, it causes the air to rise. So we'll have rising air, and that should help to produce shower and thunderstorm activity. Then, as we work on into, say, Monday and Tuesday of next week, high pressure will be back over our area. Clockwise flow, that's important. See this disturbance up over towards, say, the Tennessee River Valley? It's going to be dragged around that high into Louisiana as we work on into, say, late next week, and we get moisture back into our area. Again, the high moves away, begins moving away Tuesday into Wednesday, and again, here comes that moisture. Cut-off low forms, counterclockwise swirl, lots of moisture. We're going to be out of on the edge of it, but again, winds are going to be out of the north. So it's not great for producing shower and thunderstorm activity. We have to have something develop off towards maybe Arkansas or off towards northern Louisiana to be advected into our area, say for Thursday and Friday. So not sure that's going to happen, but that's usually what it takes to produce showers and storms on the west side of upper level low pressure. Yeah, you got plentiful moisture, so it's going to be maybe some disturbances, a lot of air mass, thunderstorms. So 30, 40, maybe 50% coverage seems reasonable this far out as we head on into, say, Thursday and Friday of next week. So that's a look at your next 7 days. Otherwise, on the Gulf, there'll be a few scattered showers and storms over the area. Looks like slightly choppy seas tomorrow, around 2 to 3 feet, and a south wind at 10 to 15 knots. High tides at Sabine Pass at 6:21 a.m. and 3:43 p.m. Water temperature 92. So 20% coverage, mainly evening. We may see some nocturnal showers develop along the coastline, mid to upper 70s to around 80 degrees, and light south winds are expected. For tomorrow, again, a 50, maybe 60% coverage sooner in the triangle than later in the afternoon in the lakes area. So noontime, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, somewhere in that vicinity for the triangle, and then probably after 3 up in the lakes area. Again, partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies. As the storms develop, they'll transport or develop more cloud cover, so we'll see less sun later in the day. South to southeast winds fairly light. They'll keep the humidity levels up and help us to see quite a bit of moisture to work with as far as the shower and thunderstorm activity. So yesterday and the day before, I've had a 30% coverage of showers and storms in the forecast coming up on Sunday. I've changed that. I've gone to a 40% coverage because I've looked at data that supports more in the way of moisture moving in, kind of a surge and favorable wind direction on Sunday. So partly sunny skies, a 40% coverage. Then that high builds on in. So Monday, Tuesday, and probably Wednesday, we'll see low or minimal rain chances, and those high temperatures going up into the mid-90s across southeast Texas. Then, because of the uncertainty of whether or not we can get some thunderstorms to develop off towards our north and through northwest Arkansas, northwest Louisiana, to move around that low, we won't go more than a 40% coverage this far out as we head towards Thursday and Friday. And that's a look at your 7-day forecast. Again, if you're just joining us, it looks like showers and storms are likely coming up tomorrow afternoon because of more favorable wind direction. Hot and dry Monday and Tuesday as high pressure builds on in, and then we'll go with scattered showers and storms late next week as another surge of moisture moves into our area and we see low pressure developing in through eastern Louisiana. So falling rain chances on Sunday to a 40% coverage, and then mainly dry coming up Monday and Tuesday. Slight chance on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, a 40% coverage. And again, this shows the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. Lots of moisture over us now. Look how the moisture falls. Remember, you've got to have moisture in the atmosphere to create shower and thunderstorm activity and clouds. If you have high pressure and low moisture over your area, you're not going to see much, and that's mirroring what we're forecasting for Monday and Tuesday. Those highs in the mid-90s, especially midweek. Again, I explained why this is occurring, why we did not see much today. It's because we had kind of an east-southeast wind today. That was not very favorable for shower and thunderstorm activity. That's not the case over towards eastern Louisiana. You see southerly winds there, a lot more coverage of shower and thunderstorm activity as low pressure in the Gulf moves west. Tonight and tomorrow, we will drag this over our area as we head towards tomorrow, and that should give us a better chance of shower and thunderstorm activity tomorrow afternoon across southeast Texas. Again, that trough or low moving off to the west, and again, it looks like this very favorable area of shower and thunderstorm activity will be dragged into our area as we work on in to tomorrow afternoon across southeast Texas.